Hey everybody, welcome to the channel. Glad to have you here. Today we have another 3v3, and this time it is a Beastmen, me as Greenskins, and the Vampires going up against the Wood Elves, the Dwarves, and the Chaos in Steel Faith. So you can see a large line of Iron Breakers there. But I am, as per usual, my Goblins, and I was expecting a slightly different army. And I was hoping to kind of go up against the Wood Elves, so a lot of my army is not going to be great against a lot of this armored core. So I have basically two contingents that I'm going to use to kind of split and support each of my allies. Each one has a Nasty Skulker, and then two Night Goblin Fanatics and a Goblin Big Boss. Over here you can see again Night Goblin Fanatics, but on this side the Unbreakable Night Goblins, and then the Nasty Skulker and the Goblin Big Boss. Supporting my general is the Warlord's Boys. I do have a Night Goblin Warboss and a Orc Shaman, two Ragnarok Spiders, three Rock Lobbers, Hammer of Gork of course, and some Trolls in the back. You can also see some Dirkit Squigs in the back that I do forget about for the beginning part of this battle. You can see the Vampire player here. Long line of zombies. He's got some crypt horrors here who are not armor piercing in this mod. They do have that lethal poison though, and regeneration. They're pairing up with that. He does have the Cloven and Gash. Heinrich Kemmler here with, of course, Krell. He's got some black Grail Knights over here in the forest, some Blood Knights. Way over here, some Cairn Race, and they do have stock. And then over here, two units of Dire Wolves. We'll go over here to the Beastmen army. You can see two units of Best Gore with the Ungor here, Spearman herd up in front, and they do have stock as well. Some Harpies in the back, two Minotaurs with shields, a Cygor, Morgur the Shadow Gave, and a Gorbull. Two units of Centaurs with great weapons, and then two Sandgors. So these are Cinches, I guess Singors? I don't know, Sandgors. They're Cinch themed Bestigors, or Beastmen. They do have this fun thing, Hunger for Magic, -4 leadership, -15 magic resistance. Primal Fury as per usual, and they do have stock, yeah. They do have magic attacks, and they do have 30% resistance to fire and 40% resistance to magic. So they are pretty terrifying, especially against the Wood Elves, who have a lot of magic damage. But they're going to be far less useful here against Chaos, so this was not a super ideal matchup here. But we'll go over the Chaos army. Pretty simple here. A ton of Chaos Warriors with great weapons. Two Chosen with halberds, one out in the forest, one protecting Archaon the Everchosen. Then he has three Chaos Giants. So this is just an army meant to just walk up and bludgeon the enemy to death. Sometimes with axes, sometimes with clubs. The Dwarf player here does have 4 Iron Breakers, nor Grimlings, 2 units of Slayers, and the Grumbling Guard. He's got a Rune Lord here to buff everybody up, and a Runesmith on that side to buff that up as well. The Wood Elf player, you can see, has 4 units of Way Watchers who just recently got a huge buff. They have 200 range, they have poison, they have stock, I believe. They do have Hawkish Finesse and Hawkish Precision, so they're very strong. They do have Snipe, so I believe they can remain hidden while firing. So yeah, just pretty terrifying unit here. And they did get a huge buff to melee attack and melee defense. You can see they do have 45 and 44, and their weapon strength is 48. So they are not pushovers, but their hit points are still very low. So that kind of balances out. You can see some Eternal Guard up front to kind of meat shield. 2 units of Wild Riders. Wild Riders with shields are the anti-large. Wild Riders without shields are the anti-infantry variant. So he's got 2 over there, 2 over here, and he does have a Glady up on her Hawk, who's going to be providing Overwatch. So I did forget that I do have Morgrow's Mangy Marauders, who are going to be opening fire on this Chaos player, and that's just because I am firing a ton of rocks at these Nord Grimlings Ironbreakers to start off this battle. Oh man, and this is a good battle. So we got just a ton of rocks coming in. Gonna lay waste to a lot of these very elite dwarves. That is why I brought this many rocks. You can see even doing a decent amount of damage to those Slayers. My Orc Shaman is coming up, casting some spells. And you can see we are kind of forcing the enemy to engage just because they don't have any artillery. See more Grubs Mage Marauders opening fire as well. And you can see I'm concentrating a lot of fire on these Nordgrimlings, Ironbreakers, just because I know how scary they can be. And you can see my shots are hitting into the back lines. This Glade Lady is just going to walk over. I did, when I made this build, forget archers. I don't know why, but you can see this Glade is just going to come up here and start pecking away at my Orc Shaman, and there's going to be nothing I can do. I'm going to lose this Orc Shaman before I can use almost any magic on this guy. So very bad for me. Just that boar is so slow, he's not able to escape. So that does suck, but oh well. Nothing I can do about it. So you can see all these sides are moving up. You can see this ambush has kind of gotten started or is looking prepared. You can see I'm moving this side up. My poor Night Goblin fanatics are just going to get slaughtered by these Chaos Warriors Great Weapons. You can see I did split each of my Ragnarok Queens and stuff over to each side. So they're going to be running in there, trying to do their best. You can see Arrow of Kurnos coming down. He's just going to take so much damage. But I was not able to get any Fists of Gork off or anything. So that was sad. But you can see here my rocks have done a ton of damage to this main line. But while I'm kind of paying attention to my Orc Shaman, oh, sorry about that, he is just going to move up in range and just satchel charge the shit out of my goblins. Just decimate them. You can see the damage he's doing. Oh my god, I definitely needed to countercharge here. This was a huge mistake that cost me a lot of staying power on this side. So you can see this is still moving up as my poor goblins get roasted. And you can see over here my Nasty Skulkers already routing just because the Chaos Warriors are such a better unit. You can see these giants are just going to come over here and lay waste to my queen. I definitely was aware of that, and I tried to micro her out, but I only clicked once, so she just got caught on these Chaos Warriors. And I meant to pull her out, and she's going to take way more damage than I wanted. Over here you can see the Centaurs got a nice rear charge into these guys, but now they are fighting Halberds. And you can see they are kind of clumped up. Would have loved to see these guys split up and just keep cycle charging from all sides, or potentially even come over here and save my poor goblin line. Luckily, at least one of these goblins is unbreakable, and you can see I do have the Morgrov's Mage Marauders firing in as well, trying to put some damage down. But there you can see my poor Orc Shaman is going to go down here. Not good at all. A lot of magic I could have cast this game is out the window. But yeah, you can see already my Nasty Skulker is almost dead. I'm going to pull my stuff in. I'm pulling my trolls to this side because I saw how bad of a mess up this was. And I'm going to be attacking. But all these Way Watchers, this Ragnarok Spider is going to just be glorious for them. Luckily, we've kind of dealt with, I'm taking up part of this dwarf's attention. So that means this vampire player is going to be able to come in here, kind of do whatever he wants, or at least just fight the Wood Elf player. And over on this side, I'm helping the Beastmen kind of take on Chaos here. And thank God that these giants are not on these Bestigor herd, because we really need that armor-piercing damage if we have a chance to kind of tear through all these Chaos Warriors. You can see over here, these Sandgors, definitely would love to see these guys start getting in, and these Minotaurs with shields could be laying waste to some of these guys, or even come over here away from the Halberds. So there's a lot of opportunity there, and you can see the Glady still on Overwatch. And you can see here, as my Ragnarok Spider gets in the mix, she's going to eat some Iron Breakers. But we'll go on play here as this happens, and you can see I think he's targeting my trolls right now, but he will switch over. Oh, you can see he's shooting at these Crypt Horrors, and they are going to take a ton of damage. Luckily, they're not the fire damage, because they would take a ton of extra damage, but you can see those Crypt Horrors are getting chunked. And you can see over here, so is my queen. So this is not looking good at all, and you can see Archaon over here is just mopping the floor with Morgr. Archaon's taken like no damage, and Morgr's about to die. Oh my god. So here you can see, nice job cycle charging these guys, pulling the Sandgors in. Cygor coming over, and you can see Morgr is just not having a good time. Luckily, I've got these giants kind of bobbed down, but he's going to be pulling them out. And you can see, oh my god, look at those Way Watchers, that range. They are just tearing apart. Luckily, he got these guys out before they crumbled entirely, so that regeneration's still going to kick in. You can see arrows of Kurnos coming down as this zombie line pushes in. And you can see my trolls, thanks to kind of the amount of damage I put down with these goblin rock lobbers, I'm able to just barely survive this, especially with these zombies helping hold down like half the line. I'm barely surviving, and I'm doing some decent damage, especially with that Ragnarok Spider. But you can see over here, he has broken through, and there's really not much I can do about it. Spawn some spider hatchlings to slow him down. Morgur there, you can see, are broken, dead. And Archaon barely untouched. So this is not looking too good. Here you can see, finally I realized I left my Dirkit Squigs in the back, so I'm going to be mobilizing these guys pretty soon. You can see these Ulthar's Raiders waiting. I don't think I even mentioned them in the beginning. That's how sneaky they were. So you can see it's not looking very good for us. Luckily, I can kind of see these guys now. They're close enough, so I'm opening fire. I believe I'm actually shooting at these. I should be switching to these Wild Riders soon, just because I want to. That's a lot of damage, anti-large damage that I'm kind of afraid of, to be honest. So here you can see my spider has successfully ran away. Thank God, I still have a ton of spiderlings to spawn. I've pulled the Dirkit Squigs over here to help, and I'm pulling these squigs around, and I'm going to try and run them through this gap and up through. So we'll see if that works. And you can see this spider, Prey of Onothrama, nice move there. He's going to get minus 22% resistance to all these attacks. Oh my goodness. So, and these are armor piercing mostly. So they will just be doing a ton of damage, and you can see there's still a lot of ammo left on these guys, and those Wild Riders still in almost perfect health. Luckily, this is a pretty good engagement for me. These great weapons are getting slowly killed by this huge amount of armor-piercing damage, the Dirkit Squigs, the Ragnarok Spider, and the Goblin Big Boss. You can see the Goblin Big Boss actually did get Smoke Bomb in this update. So it makes him even more terrifying. He can trap the Lords for you, and you can see this Ragnarok Spider just gunned down, and there really wasn't anything I could do about it, just because that Wild Rider support there is terrifying. Over here you can see, dealt with these guys, still luckily protecting my firing line of rock lobbers. You can see over here, I think I am shooting in, helping to kind of clean up these guys. And you can see my Morgrubs probably not paying for themselves shooting at this giant, but you can see these guys definitely doing well, holding down this big blob for a long time. You can see over here Queen getting ambushed by these guys as well. And I don't know what I'm moving to shoot. Potentially moving to shoot at these Wild Riders. But you can see these guys did get taken out by the Black Rail Knights and the Blood Knights. But now you can see they're being held in place and then shot by these Way Watchers. And I don't think any amount of Invocation of Nehek is going to save them at this point, just because that's a lot of range firepower getting put down. And now you can see I'm just slowly turning my attention to the side. I've realized I've kind of lost this, so I pulled my general out. I hoped my troll and these guys would just hold as long as possible. And I did pull through here. I think I missed it. I pulled through here, but I just got hit. I got hit by Wild Riders. I got shot a little bit, and then he moved his attention over here, and then they just kind of died. Even charging Iron Breakers in the back, they're not the best, just because Iron Breakers are so scary. So here you can see cleaning up this portion of the chaos a little bit more cleanly than I would have expected. You can see Morgar over here is wavering. Archaon is dueling this Cygor and winning. But he still has these giants going around. And the thing about giants is they actually have amazing leadership. So they're actually pretty hard to break, unlike trolls and other things. They're just so stupid they'll stay and fight, I guess, is kind of the idea. So over here, I want to see what I'm shooting at. Can I see that? Maybe I'm shooting at... Oh, I'm just shooting at this blob of Iron Breakers. But you can see here, he is going to finally push through. I'm going to use my Goblin Big Boss to try and stop these guys from just pushing in here. But they're dwarves, and they'll catch me eventually. Luckily, my trolls, they still have 10 models, so they're still regenerating, and so they definitely will come back. So they'll be good for the late game. And you can see over here, I am kind of dueling these giants with my leadership core and my spider. Luckily, I do have these squigs to kind of prevent him from just hitting these guys over and over again. You can see over here my Morgos Mangy Marauders. I brought them around because they were out of ammo, and then they got netted and just shot to death. I think Morgur just died over there. You can see this vampire player swarming what's left of the elves, and I think just trying to outlast his missiles, soaking his missiles up. But there's a lot of stacked regeneration here. The Kulab Nagash heals, the Cryptors heal, and he's probably... Oh, well, and... I don't know where he is, but... And Kemmler heals, so that is stacking 3 different types of heals. 4 if you count Invocation of Nehek to provide some very serious healing to this blob. And you can see it's helped keep these Cryptors in the fight. But that focus fire is just too much for the Kulab Nagash, and it is going to be taken out. And the range on these guys is just so incredible that I don't think it's going to be able to escape here. A lot of those actually missed, thankfully. But it should probably start it. You can see critical binding, so it's not looking too good. You can see that Glade Lady still has a ton of ammo left. You can see the dwarves have penetrated my firing line. And I'm going to be bringing my trolls over here to kind of help. And you can see this is going okay, I guess. I've pulled some Dirkit Squigs over here to kind of help with the Iron Breakers, try and save that. But it's left this kind of isolated, and you can see my spider is taking damage. And just, this is not the ideal kind of target for a spider. Chaos Giants are much better against single target entities, I think. You can see a big mistake here. I'm going to pull out the spider, and these giants are just going to turn at my Night Goblin War Boss. You can see already taken a chunk of damage, so definitely when I pulled her out, I should have pulled my general out as well, and maybe brought these guys into Smoke Bomb. But I kind of thought he was... You can see this giant was targeted on my spider, but this guy was not. So I was hoping to kind of drag him through my spiders, but you can see good micro here. I think he's going to turn around and just focus my Night Goblin War Boss. So over here, thankfully, they still got the Black Grail Knights. We've still got some Crypt Horrors. We've still got Heinrich Kemmler, and more importantly, we still have Krell. Where is Krell? He's right here. About to kill a vampire. Wow. Oh yeah, there you can see he does dismount that poor Reindeer Knight. And so you can see it's kind of up for grabs over here. Luckily, the Way Watchers are running out of a little bit of ammo. You can see over here, forgotten that these guys exist. Really need to pull them into combat. But I'm really just worried about over here. You can see my poor Night Goblin War Boss taking a ton of damage, almost breaking, and I decide, oh my god, why did I do that? And I pull these guys back in to try and help. And you can see him kind of force pathing after, well, not force pathing, just chasing my trolls. And I think a micro lapse from me is going to let him catch them. So those Slayers, I don't want them to get in there at all. So you can see my Turkish Squigs just keep trying to cycle charge. Runes of Wrath and Ruin coming down on them, though. You can see now these Beastmen have cleaned up almost everything, and they're coming in here to help. You can see my Night Goblin War Boss does make it out alive, thank goodness. And we're still trying to take out these giants. Gotta get these guys in here. You can see even my trolls are coming in here. I spawned some spiders to try and just kill these Slayers. They don't have the worst melee. I'm sorry about that. They don't have the worst melee, but they have armor piercing. That's silly. I guess they do in this mod, so something to consider. I've never actually looked at their stat line before. So you can see my Rock Lobbers are offline, but I'm sending these Dirkit Squigs over here. I see a nice ranged unit who they can just kill pretty easily, and I want to run away from those Runes of Wrath and Ruin. So I'm going over there. You can see, luckily, we have taken out these Chaos Giants. They're not out for good. They will come back. But there you can see we do kill that one. You can see I'm pulling back the rest of my stuff. I kind of didn't know what was going on over here. Here you can see this Collapsing Gash, Prey on the Thramid. Cairn Race getting in there against those Way Watchers. That is definitely very good. So you can see this is actually a decent little vampire blob over here. But you can see he still has quite a number of these Wild Riders. And these Way Watchers, a number of these units are still pretty healthy, so they're They are decent melee combatants. You can see Invocation of the Heck potentially very clutch here coming down, healing all these guys. The benefit of a small blob like that. And over here you can see some Sangors get in here. More grubs, mangy marauders attack these slayers. Runesmith just got rocked by the Cygor. These Minotaurs, you know what? You think they would be good against these guys, but their melee attack just like almost isn't high enough to get through that melee defense. So they're not actually the best target against these guys. And they just have too few models, so they don't attack very often. So they tend to not do as good as you would think against something that is as good as this. Here you can see some more charges coming down, blowing up my goblins. And you can see over here, this Cav force has come back. Luckily, we still have a decent little pocket here. I've really just got some trolls, my spider, and my Night Goblin War Boss back. Over here, I do have these guys. You can see I have the Turket Squigs. And I should be moving these guys back to their rock lobbers soon. And I guess I keep trying to, but they keep breaking. As soon as they get near this blob, and here you can see those Minotaurs are routed by that nice rear charge from those Wild Riders. You can see these Sangors are going to get run down. They are not really meant for anti-cav, especially as elite of a unit as these Wild Riders. So here you can see the Weight Watchers are going to swarm what's left of my trolls. The elves are very desperate at this moment, trying whatever they can to eliminate the last of the greenskins. You know, no one's really going to like this fight. Here you can see the trolls are wavering. I get a nice rear charge here with these spider hatchlings. And you can see me just trying to protect my Night Goblin. And that's why he's just screaming over and over again. And I really just need to keep him alive, or my trolls are just going to rout. And my spider not long after. Here you can see the vampires are trying to keep up. The Glady is very tired from firing over here. But you can see those Invocations of the Heck just keep coming down. God, oh man. So here comes this massive rear charge. Spite of the Bad Moon. I gave them expert charge defense, but it doesn't affect... Expert charge defense does not stop them from getting that charge bonus in the back, so they're going to rout. And this is just not ideal. I got these dwarves coming in. I've got this lady circling. Turket Squigs over here. Got caught by Archaon. Did a decent amount of damage, but they are definitely going to lose that fight. You can see some of my Hammer of Gork crew has come back. My Rock Lobber. But this is not looking good for me at all. You can see my Trolls rout. My Night Goblin War Boss is going to rout, but luckily these Black Rail Knights come in for the rescue. Stop these guys from getting over to me. But you can see the Rune Lord's just going to path through. I do cast Stand Your Ground, so that's why I have stabilized. And I'm going to run away as these Cryptors come in to save me. Trying to stay near kind of the Cairn Race, but I just need to stay by. Trying to proc Wah as many times as I possibly can. Over here you can see cleaning up some of my Cav. These Cairn Wraiths, these Cryptors are not going to have a good time against the Dwarves, but these Cairn Wraiths will. And I think that's why you can see this lightning is going to come down. Cairn Wraiths just like went flying in the air. Luckily a lot of them were over here, so it didn't take as much damage as it could have. So here you can see, yeah, I'm turning around my Hammer Gork, but as they turn around they shatter. So I'm still hoping for this one. You can see I'm still in the battle. You can see this gosh dang giant has come back. You can see Archaon has focused the queen, and this giant is going to focus the queen as well. So she's just not going to have a good time. Rune of Wrath and Rune coming down. She's going to break, start routing. Now you can see the Night Goblin War Boss has gotten netted, as is what happens to most of these goblins in this battle. And he's just going to get shot and routed off the field. So at this point, I don't have much. It's really just the dwarves and the elves versus the vampires, with a little bit of beastmen support. So here you can see these Wild Riders coming in. Oh man, that lag right there, just probably from the particle effects. I should pull back. Oh, dude, look at this. Trolls coming back for the rescue. I think they're coming in here to try and just finish off this giant. they're not going to last long. Oh, but they do take out that giant, so that is very good. And over here you can see the Goblin Rocklobber has set up again. And they are going to be targeting those Wild Riders with a vengeance. You can see these Wild Riders coming back in against these zombies. So when I saw this, I didn't really care that I would hit my own zombies. I just really needed to take out models here because there's so few. Even one hit from my Rocklobber would do that. So you can see here, they are starting to come in, those rocks. And he, the Wood Elf player, immediately recognizes this. And you're going to see these guys come in like the last samurai, just getting rocked. Taking out like a ton of these reindeer in the late game. But yeah, as they finish their charge, my Rocklobber runs out of ammo. And they're just going to ride down these brave goblins who came back in the very last moment. And these guys are going to get it. And so that's the last of the greenskins. And you can see there's a lot of vampires left, but the balance of power is still pretty even. We do have these Black Rail Knights, which are pretty powerful. Krell and Kemmler. They still have the Glady. You can see Ulthor's Raiders throwing in here. Archaon is circling, and those runes are just going to keep coming down. Looks like the Rune Lord just got focused down there and died. Prey of Anathrama on Krell. Though there's not much ammo left in the game, you can see the Wild Riders cleaning up my Goblin Rocklobber crew. Coming back, you can see the Glady actually taking some decent damage from these Cryptors, because they're non-armor piercing now, and the Glady has 75, so... And you can see they are seeming to be pathing after Archaon. Nice job casting Cascading Fire Cloak. You can see 93 melee defense. So very hard to hit when you cast that spell on him. You can see Kemmler trying to stay where he's safe. You can see repeated charges coming down on Kemmler. Glady must have popped her potion just then. And you can see these guys all trying to take down Kemmler, so that would really shift the balance of power pretty fast if they are able to take out Kemmler. You can see these Ironbreakers, 2 units, 7 units, still in the fight. But here come these Wild Riders. They're going to swarm in. And they could potentially do some good damage here. But these, you can see, look at that regen on those Black Rail Knights. And with that high melee defense, they were just so hard to take down. There you can see Archaon does go down. Cryptors are critical binding. Repeated charges there from that Glady. Kemmler, 10 kills. But he is popping that Chaos Tomb Blade. Oh man, the lag. You can see just charges from those Wild Riders. But just Kemmler and Krell are too much for these guys to handle, and you can see the balance of power is shifting in their favor as the Glady takes a lot of damage, probably from Krell, because he is a powerhouse in this mod, and you can see these guys are finally breaking. Runesmiths are breaking. You can see the Glady is going to go down there, leaving Krell, Kemmler, and their Black Rail Knights as the only surviving members of this entire battle. Oh man, it was so close. So you can see here, my Goblin main line did nothing. My poor Orc Shaman did nothing. My Goblin Rocklobbers there got a ton of XP chevrons from killing Ironbreakers. My Ragnarok Queen definitely did some work. My Trolls held the line. My Dirkit Squigs were useful. These guys did nothing. But yeah, you can see a lot of my stuff did not do very well. Just my Rocklobbers and my Spider. And my Morgrubs did okay. They got 84. Let's look at the rest of my team. You can see Kemmler. Not a lot of kills here, but that's what you expect when you go up against the Elves. Very low unit models, especially with when he's using this much cav. And then Brother Smith, as you can see, Morger just got slaughtered. Bestgore doing okay. Minotaur's getting a number of kills. Yeah. But you can see over here, we look at Indie Pride. So Lord Justinian was the Krell player on my team, and Brother Smurfus was the Beastman player. I brought the Greenskins. Indie Pride was the Wood Elf player. Tons of kills on the Eternal Guard. The Way Watchers definitely doing work. Getting XP chevrons. You can see almost everything in his army got XP chevrons. 182, 152. Looks like these anti-infantry ones did not do quite as well. The Glady definitely doing work. Oh my god, just look at these Iron Breakers. Just so many kills on Goblins and Zombies. Grumbling Guard doing very well. Those Slayers, definitely would have liked to see them kind of pulled back from the main Iron Breaker line, so I wouldn't have been able to shoot both of them at the same time, just because the Goblin Rock Lobbers are not that accurate. You can see Rune Lord definitely in the Runesmith, definitely buffing up this Iron Breaker core. Marshall Gray brought the Archaon the Everchosen and his Chaos Warrior core. You can see they definitely did work. These are probably the ones that were fighting my Goblins. These Chosen are actually doing very well, and the Giants racking up 100 kills, and taking out my Ragnarok Queen, essentially. So definitely doing work there as well. But great game to all of these guys, and hope you liked that 3v3 really close cast. Anyways, thanks so much, and that's that.